Hey guys, Owen2633 here, and today, as you can see, we are doing something much different than usual. First off, I haven't done a Modern Warfare 2 video recently because my stomach has not been feeling too well, and second, Modern Warfare 2 has been a broken piece of crap for me recently, and it just gets really annoying. So anyway, we are with Destiny 2, one of my favorite games, unfortunately, and fortunately. And today we're just going to be ranking all of the dungeons and raids, like just based on my opinion and what I think of them. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's start off with duality. As you can see, I don't own the Witch Queen dungeon key. I don't even own the Witch Queen, so I really don't know where to put this. I've heard it's absurdly difficult. And that I haven't really heard much about the loot due to the fact that none of my friends have completed this dungeon before due to how hard it is. But even then, I can't really place it in a rank because I don't have a personal experience with it. So I'm just gonna leave that unranked. And yeah, let's see what you Destiny players in the comments think about it. Yeah. All right, now we have Pit of Heresy. When has anyone done this besides the Xenophage quest? Like, I'm not talking when it's Pinnacle. I mean, when has anybody said, hey, let's do Pit of Heresy for the loot? No one. The only time I've done this dungeon is for Xenophage. For nothing else. And yeah, the loot, you can get the loot from Altars of Sorrow. Why do you need this dungeon? It's absurdly difficult. The only thing that's good out of it is Xenophage. Which is going to bring me to my next part, which a few of these dungeons and raids on this list are going to apply under Divinity Syndrome. Meaning that yes, there's a good exotic beneath the crap of this. But that's it. You're not going to be doing it after you get that good exotic. You're done. There's no reason to even click on this dungeon afterwards. So because of that, I'm going to have to give this thing a D tier. Just due to the fact that Xenophage, it hasn't been the best recently. It's good if you're doing master mode on King's Fall for like totems or something. That was the only way my team could get through totems on day one of King's Fall. Screw that. I'll get more to my rant about that later. But yeah, you're not going to be doing this if it's for anything but Xenophage. D tier. Alright, here we are now. Shattered Throne. This thing also suffers from Divinity Syndrome. It has Wish Ender. It's good. It's not the best, but it's still fun to use. It's free wall hacks, and you can't be reported for hacking. But the loot is just Dreaming City loot. You can get the loot from Petrovenge. You can get the loot from Blind Well. Yeah, there's no point. I mean, it's still fun to do. The design is aesthetically pleasing. Anything in the Dreaming City looks awesome. And it can even wonk out your mind at times, which is actually quite fun in terms of it being a game. And yeah, unlike Pit of Heresy, I'd actually do this on Pinnacle Week, because as I said, it's kind of fun. But otherwise, besides Wish Ender, there's really no reason doing this. Yeah, this is just due to the fact that it's fun, and it's actually fun to do on Pinnacle is gonna keep it above Pit of Heresy, and it's going to go into C tier, but it can't go any higher just due to the fact that the loot isn't unique, and Wish Ender is just okay at best. Alright, here we are on Prophecy. This is probably the most fun dungeon in the game, just because it's got unique loot. Darkest Below is actually pretty good in my opinion. The weapons are pretty good. I can't really think of how it could be faulty. I mean, the Sparrow encounter can get annoying, but if you're with some friends and you're just messing around, you're going to be having a blast. It was Pinnacle this week, as you saw. I already did it. It's actually a really nice raid. Why did I say raid? It's a really nice dungeon to do just for Pinnacle or just for fun. I've carried some friends through this because, like, it's fun, it's free to play. It's actually some good loot for free to play. And yeah, this is gonna go into A tier. Alright, Grasp of Avarice. A tier. This is... Okay, I gotta say, I totally forgot about this dungeon when I was talking about Prophecy. This, in my opinion, is the most fun dungeon. Okay, yeah, the Sparrow encounter exists. That is just pain. But other than that, the encounters are unique. The loot is all Destiny 1 loot. If you have Destiny 1 nostalgia, then I definitely recommend running this because you're going to get Matador 64, Isoluna, 1,000 Yard Stare, Galahorn. You can get the Galahorn quest and Catalyst with this. And then it also has its own unique armor set, and it also delves into the lore of the Loot Cave, everybody's favorite farming spot in Destiny 1, which should be a real thing. I don't understand why Bungie hates it so much. A designated place to farm loot would be nice, because I don't always have time to go into, like, dungeons or nightfalls and stuff. I don't have time to LFG all the time, but yeah, it's never gonna happen. But yeah, anyway, on to Grasp of Avarice. This is an extremely fun dungeon. This is what got a few of my friends to actually start paying for expansions in Destiny, just because it's constantly farmable. You can constantly get loot from this. And yeah, this is gonna go into A tier with Prophecy. Alright, now we're on to raids, because I forgot how few dungeons are in this game. Wow, this really put that into perspective. Anyway, Val the Disciple. I don't own Witch Queen. I can't say anything about this. My friends also say this one's pretty hard, and I have no opinion. I can't state my opinion because I don't own Witch Queen. I haven't played the raid. It's gonna go into unranked, just like Duality. You guys can put in the comments what you think of it. Yeah, so I can't put a rank on this. Alright, Garden of Salvation, say it with me. This thing suffers from Divinity Syndrome. Yes, you've got the Divinity quest. Afterwards, there's no reason to do this raid. None of the loot is extraordinary. Some looks cool. The Hunter Cloak looks pretty cool. But even then, I don't feel like doing this raid. It is hard as all hell, and it is just very annoying. Yes, some encounters are fun. Wow, I can't even remember what any of the encounters are called. The puzzle parts of the Divinity quest get very annoying very fast. Other than that, some encounters are fun. The final boss, screw this final boss. Screw him. It sucks. I hate how not only do you have to manage the stupid Vex sacrificing themselves, but you also have to rebuild segments that he destroys while doing DPS phases. It's just so annoying. The raid itself is absolutely gorgeous. I love the aesthetic of it. The Black Garden is beautiful. But even then, if you're doing it for the Divinity quest, they're nerfing Divinity. If you want Divinity as a usable weapon, you got 30 days to do it when it's still good. They're nerfing Divinity because one guy on Twitter complained about it instead of just, I don't know, not using it in raids. I don't know what to say. But yeah, this raid, I don't even do it during Pinnacle. It's stupid. I hate it. We're gonna put it in D for Divinity. Alright, let's get this a little more upbeat before we go on to King's Fall. Deepstone Crypt. This is actually a really fun raid. If you really only need to do one part if you really only need to know how to do one task if you have like designated people doing certain things, which there's 3 buffs. You got 2 people swapping off all the buffs. If they both know what to do, then you're going to be breezing through this. Somehow Tanik's returned. I don't know how in the lore that worked out, but yeah, Hugh's back and he's disabled now. He's a shank. That joke might get me canceled. Anyway, yeah, it's A tier. The loot is really fun. Why did I say fun? The loot is really good. Isa Tomorrow is not the best, but it's still fun to use. And after like 3 hours of grinding this raid and going through LFG Nightmare, it feels so good to get. I screamed my lungs out when I got it. Might be considered an overreaction, but hey, whatever. I went through 3 hours of annoyance to get it. And yeah, anyway, this raid's going into A tier. Alright, it's time for this to get controversial. King's Fall. I don't like it too much. I'm probably gonna get absolutely killed by the Destiny community for this, but it's mediocre. The mechanics are outdated. It's all just standing on plates and damaging. There's not much to it. It's just a giant DPS check. And War Priest. Why is it 50 million damage? Why do you have to deal so much damage to that D-bag to even kill him? It's so annoying. And there are so many bugs on this. Bungie has been focusing on nerfing Divinity rather than fixing the bug with War Priest that wipes you when you don't even touch a plate. Why? It's so annoying. Nerf War Priest. He is so annoying. But yeah, the day 1 of this raid was also excruciatingly difficult, which comes into why Xenophage was useful for it. They stuck us in contest mode because Destiny 2 streamers can't even be trusted to click on contest mode for a day 1 challenge. It's so stupid. But it was incredibly annoying. It took us all day to get through totems, and by the time we got to War Priest, that we didn't even clear War Priest. Oh, it was so annoying, and it still is annoying. If War Priest was cut out of the raid, it would be good. But the loot, for me, the loot is good. Touch a Mouse doesn't interest me too much. It's just a scout rifle with a poncho on it. It's not that interesting. The Take and Blight is funny to troll with, but yeah. You see, after War Priest, it's fun, but during War Priest and like beforehand, it sucks. It's awful. So it flops in between B and C tier to me daily. I'm gonna put it in C+ tier because I just completed it on an LFG team, and it wasn't that bad, but I found a sister's checkpoint. It's just the drip. It gives you some drippy armor, if you know what I mean. Yeah, C+ tier. Alright, Last Wish. I really like this raid. The mechanics are so cool. They seem daunting at first, but once you do them, they're actually quite fun to do. Shirochi is probably some of the most fun I've had in an encounter, just because like it's mechanical, but not too mechanical. Garden of Salvation. And the loot looks so good. It looks so cool, all of the loot. And after you complete Queen's Walk and you have a ton of ethereal keys, on Pinnacle Week you can grind this for so long, get tons of ethereal keys, grab them from your postmaster, open all the chests, you can get so much loot. And yeah, it's awesome. The vibe and the colors and the aesthetic of the raid are so beautiful. The wish wall exists. You can get Drifter to narrate your entire raid, which is just awesome. Yeah, it's going in S tier. Alright, now finally, Vault of Glass. I might have a bias for this because it's the first raid I've ever done, but this is going straight into S tier. This is my favorite raid of all time. I love it. The loot, I think, is the best in the game series. It's just so much fun to do. Once you know completely everything what to do, it's just so fun to run through. I've gotten everything from the raid more than once, and I still, yes, including Vexsmith class, and I still find this raid fun to do. I love it when you go through the final encounter with Atheon, and then you just hear those LFGs or your friends screaming that they got Vexsmith the class. It's just such a good feeling. The only problem, I don't really have any problems with this raid. It's quite fun. I like it a lot. I really can't think of anything. Maybe Templar is a little over the top at times, but other than that, it is, I think, the best raid in the entirety of Destiny history. Yeah, it's going straight into S tier. But yeah, that's it for my dungeon and raid tier list for Destiny 2. Yeah, it was a lot shorter than I thought because I did not realize how few dungeons and raids this game had. And yeah, I know they're gonna add more. They're gonna stop sunsetting content in Lightfall. They're adding 2 new raids, which is gonna be the Lightfall raid and hopefully Wrath of the Machine. Well, I should say 100% Wrath of the Machine because they're probably gonna bring Crota's End back as like a strike or a dungeon or something. I don't know. They brought back as a Nightmare Hunt, which is already humiliating enough for his reputation. But yeah, that's it for this video. And yeah, now it's time to wrap things up.